Yeah.
Top of the week, I think it was Sunday afternoon. Kevin Durant to the Rockets. Kevin Durant to the Rockets for Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks.
Man,
what you think about that, man? The Phoenix Suns, they switching gears?
You know what? I like it for Phoenix to start off with, just because I feel like this gives Devin Booker a little time to like kind of re-resurrect his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got another guard in Jalen Green that can create his own shot. So you have a younger Bradley Beal, right? Then you got Dylan Brooks, who in my opinion is a really good defender. You gotta have like your
a dog.
You gotta have your dogs, right? You gotta have like literally like your Dennis Rodmans. You know what I mean? And he's a Dennis Rodman. You gotta have one of those types.
You do.
A Draymond Green.
You do.
You gotta have those scrappy. Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly.
You feel me? We don't forget his name this time.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta have them type of players. So I feel like that's really good for Phoenix. Then I'm also thinking, I feel like Phoenix gave up, or Houston had to give up a lot to get KD. I do. Yeah. Just because, I feel like you still want to always be in a situation where you have a deep bench.
True.
And sometimes that requires, it does. You got to have the talent, but you got to have the money for it.
Yeah.
So, I feel like in that trade, overall, when I think about where Phoenix will be and where Houston will be, I feel like it's a pretty much an even trade, honestly. You also got to think Phoenix picked up Big Mike Williams, I think his name, from Charlotte.
100%.
Then I also think they picked up from a trade in the draft that big center from Duke.
Did they?
Yeah. So they got the big center from Duke too. So I'm thinking, you got those two. No. I think he went to Portland. I'm checking. I think he went to Portland. But anyways, though, they still picked up a big. So I'm looking at that. You got big. You got guards. You have pretty much an evenly, for the most part, young, simple team. You have more guards than usual, but you could possibly make it happen because of the youth. So that means they can run the floor.
Yeah.
I think Houston lost a little defense, just a little bit.
Think so?
Just a little bit. A little bit of a scrappy defense, a 4-quarter defense. Mm-hmm. 4 quarters. You need young legs for that.
That's true.
You need young legs. I feel like Dylan Brooks is what they would be missing, but at the same time, whenever you have someone like Kevin Durant that's out there, you got to go ahead and pull that trigger. Like his style of gameplay, he probably still got 5 to 7 years. I mean, we're talking about a 7-foot non-stop growing of developing his game sniper.
Yeah.
He's constantly evolving.
He's got a long
He's constantly evolving, bro, because he's a true hooper.
He's built for longevity.
Very good for longevity.
He's not a banger. He's not a banger, so he's built for longevity. He's not playing the 5, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He's playing the 5 is different, but go ahead.
Yeah, so looking at that, they do have Fred VanVleet still out there in Houston, which I do like. So they do got a guard that's running it with KD. I mean, shoot. They actually have, they even got Steven Adams. I mean, they have a little bit of everything right now. But then you already know Amen Thompson. They say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and speed up your process because you're so physically gifted that if we just continue to allow for you to develop, you're still going to probably skip. You know how you skip a grade for school? He's going to skip a maturity level in seasons because of how gifted he is and how much he works on his game. Next year will be like him going into year 4 or 5, talent-wise.
1,000%.
Talent-wise.
1,000%.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I love it for both organizations.
I agree.
But yeah, specifically for Phoenix, I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like Devin Booker was one of them type where he was on his way, talent-wise, to kind of like potentially have whispers of could he be the face of the league when it comes to his skill set.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? And then, they brought all that talent around him. And I feel like that kind of slowed him down a little bit of his development. And so there's nothing against KD. It could have just been the style of system with him and Bradley Beal and stuff that happened too much of them depending on each other versus being able to play as a complete team. Having players that's going to move without the basketball. Right. Those little details like that. Right. But, yeah. Shout out to both of them.
Man, shout out to them.
May the best team win.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking, hey, with Ime Udoka,
oh, yeah.
Hey,
That's the big part.
I think that's going to get a lot out of KD, bro. Because I feel like there's a level of trust that's there.
Yeah.
That trust that you got a coach that truly wants to play good defense, wants to play efficient offense, and needs some leadership. KD can give you all that and some. You're not asking for KD to be the main focal point, but if we're in a game and we need you, what can you do? Oh, that's why we call him the easy money sniper. That's easy work. KD just want to make sure we playing as a team.
That's it.
That's it.
He just want to keep hooping.
Yeah. If we playing as a full unit, I ain't tripping about taking the last shot.
No.
I ain't tripping about being the main focal point in crucial situations.
Not at all.
I ain't tripping at all.
Not at all, man.
Oh.
And I love it. I didn't like it at first. At first, I was like, out of all the suitors for KD, why the Rockets? I thought about that at first. That was my initial thought. And then I started thinking a little bit. First thing that came to mind, Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
And I said, it's rare that we really see what a talented coach can do.
Yes.
We always know what a talented star player can do, right? When the Luka come out the draft, when the Cooper Flag come out the draft, when the KD come out the draft, right? When the Kobe Bryant come in, LeBron James. Yeah. We know the difference between a superstar or a regular average player. Yeah. Coaches are the same way. You got average coaches, you got decent coaches, good coaches, then you got great coaches. Yeah. I thought about a KD, a superstar with a great coach. That alone, I said, oh, okay. All right. You give MA a KD?
Man.
You see what he did with a
Jason Tatum, Jason Brown? Man.
A young Jason Tatum. I was like, whoa, okay. And then I thought about it for Fred VanVleet. I'm like, okay, you got experienced veteran guard champion at the one. Okay.
That's a big
All right, then I thought about Amen Thompson. You got young energy, young athleticism, some defense. To take a little pressure off Mr. KD on the defensive end.
Yep.
Whoa. And then you know who else I forgot about? As soon as I thought about him, I said, damn. Alperen Sengun.
Yes.
Woo! You got little baby Jokic.
Yeah.
And then you got Steven Adams, who you can always switch up the lineup and put him at the 5, move Sengun to the 4, put KD at the 3, I'm in at the 2, VanVleet at the 1, and now you got a death 5.
Yep.
Because Sengun can play the 4 and the 5.
Yeah, you can.
And then I was watching TV yesterday, and they happened to do a special on the number 10 pick from Sudan.
Yeah.
7-footer. And I liked everything I saw about that young guy. Tall, 7 foot, good body on him, not skinny, with a nice bag, defender first, aggression, but controlled aggression, not a nice guy, but a good guy. Yeah. A good guy, but not a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, a good team player, excited about playing the game, but he's got the intangibles. He's got that size, he's got the length, he's got the athleticism, right? And he's an inspired defender. I said, man, KD's in a nice position with the Rockets. And you give all that to Ime Udoka, who's a top chef. You give all them ingredients to a top chef,
he gonna cook something nice.
Woo! They cooking up something nice over there at the Rockets. All right. Then, how you feel about there was a lot of moves being made, a lot of trades being had.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Jordan Poole went over to the Pelicans. I feel like, what else you had? CJ's over there with the Wizards.
That's still weird to me, but
yeah.
Yeah, CJ to the Wizards.
CJ to the Wizards.
Where did Simmons go?
Who?
From Portland. That guard.
Anfernee went to Boston.
He went to Boston. Oh.
And you got Jrue Holiday went over to the Blazers.
Jrue Holiday at the Blazers.
Holiday at the Blazers.
I like that Jrue Holiday to the Blazers trade just because what Boston look like they're doing, they just moving a few chess pieces to stay useful. That's all.
And Porzingis went to the Hawks. That's what it was.
Right.
That's what it was.
Porzingis went to the Hawks. Hawks got themselves another big. I don't know if that makes the Hawks necessarily contenders, but overall, that's a respectable piece for them to actually pick up. Because you got to have them a big, but a big that also can shoot too, that can give you a little floor spacing. That matters whenever you have someone like Trae Young at guard that also wants to utilize being able to drive to the basket and be very good at at the box.
You know, I'm a fantasy guy. I like to put in my lineups. And so the benefit of that is you get to look at some of these sleeper players and pay attention to their game.
Yeah.
Anfernee Simons is a nice piece.
He's a very nice piece.
For y'all that ain't been paying attention to the Blazers, I ain't mad at you, and I understand why.
Yes.
But Anfernee Simons, don't go to sleep on Boston just yet. It's the reason why they made that trade. They probably traded defense for offense. Okay? That's really what they did. Because Jrue Holiday can generate some offense.
Yeah.
That's for sure. He can have your game, put up 20 on you.
Yeah.
But Anfernee Simons is a bucket. And he's a young bucket. With some development, they can have him for the next 6-7 years.
He's an ISO bucket that gives you, he kind of reminds me of Derek White if he had an ISO game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's who Simons
He's got that athleticism.
Yeah, man. Most definitely got the athleticism. So you combine that with you. I kind of feel bad because I was thinking, man, I really would have loved to seen them try to build around Scoop, but Scoop didn't get them enough fast enough for what they were trying to build. Because I think they felt like they seen Scoot Henderson kind of like Ja. They were trying to envision him to be like Ja. But, you know, I feel like he would, you know, get there with time. But, you know, when it comes to development, the way they're trying to build winning teams now, they don't have time to wait on too many people to develop. So whenever I think about them moving on and letting Simmons go to Boston like that, they're kind of like in a optimistic energy of maybe we can, you know, continue to keep building for something different in the future. Like they have to shift their focus. You know, because that's a good guard they lose. That's probably their best guard they lose.
It is,
in my opinion.
It is. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
It's like being good enough to trade to get back an asset, but not being good enough to trade. So if you didn't quite show as much potential, you kind of get kept.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they know they can't really get a lot back. But if you show just enough potential, you're like, man, I balled out. You just balled out yourself away to be traded and get something back, a pick or two. You know what I mean? So it's like a double-edged sword. So I hope the younger guys who don't really know how to talk back to their ego understand that. It ain't that you didn't ball out. It ain't that you ain't worthy. You just you increase your value enough to where now you can be used as a tool.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And take it as advantage, right? Because here's the deal. You want to go somewhere where you can ball out and where your talent's appreciated and where you can shine. And so sometimes making that move is best for you. It's a blessing in disguise. So shout out to Anfernee Simons. We'll see what he do with the Celtics. You got Porzingis down at the Hawks. Now, I glanced at that Porzingis trade.
Yeah.
Man, the Hawks looking kind of nice. I mean, you got Trey at the 1. You got Dyson Daniels.
I forgot that's where he got traded.
Yeah, Dyson Daniels down there too. I thought they had just got where did what's the name go? The guy that came from the Spurs. Dejounte Murray. Where's he at?
I think he may be with the Hawks.
Is he at Atlanta?
I think he is.
Okay, maybe he got hurt or something. Anyways, if they still got
I just remember him teaming up with another guard.
If they still got DeJounte Murray, then all right, they look kind of nice.
Whoa!
I know you got Trey, you got Dyson Daniels who took a step. You got Ogunwu. I don't know how you say his name. Apologies if I messed it up. Ogunwu playing the 3 or the 4. He's kind of nice. You got Jalen Johnson. I know you pay attention to Jalen Johnson. He got an Afro puff.
Yeah.
He balls. Well-rounded forward. He can also play the 5. He bringing Porzingis up to 5. I mean, they got a nice squad. We'll see what they do. I don't know if it's a championship winning squad, but they'll definitely make some noise.
4th, 5th seed in the East. 4th or 5th seed in the East.
Yeah.
They won't be in the play-in tournament. That's the ceiling that I give them.
Yeah. Then you got.
But to your point, when it comes to health, who's healthy too at the end of the seasons?
That's true.
Because if they're healthy, when it comes to if they're healthy and you put that together, it could be a really good competitive team
for sure.
Because I was about to say, both DeJounte and Trae Young, they both got that. They got that killer instinct that they need to.
Yeah, they do. How you feel about that draft?
Yeah.
We know what Cooper Flag gonna do. I love that for Dallas. I think we talked about that last episode. You know, solidified now.
I love it because he can do a little bit of everything because of his length and his size, his capability. Because he can space the floor if he has to. His mid range is good. If he needs to penetrate to the basket, he's big enough to body you. He has great defensive skill set, hustle capabilities. It makes everyone better around him. Overall basketball IQ, what makes him also number one overall pick is his IQ is so up there.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be great for them. But here's my thing: I gotta see AD. I need to see him play at least 70 games.
You think he needs to?
I think he needs to with what they have because Kyrie won't be there.
I forgot Kyrie ain't gonna be
there.
My
boy's still getting healed right now.
I forgot Kyrie.
So you got to give him some time.
Yeah.
Now they have developing guards in the G League, and obviously like right now that's on the squad that can assist. But I'm looking at not 3 quarters but 4 quarters.
Huh?
I'm not looking at 3 quarters. I'm looking at 4 quarters. 4 quarters meaning you need a guard that can help close out the game, and you can't put all of that on a young forward in Cooper Flag to help them be as dominant as they're capable of being for the future.
That's true.
Because for the future, it's going to take probably Cooper Flag's at least his second year, whenever Kyrie's fully healthy, and they have some more assurance. Because later on in the season, let's say even if he does dominate like that, okay, fine, I'll say it. It's going to take a Cooper Flag to look like LeBron in Cleveland his first year.
For sure. And I don't think he can. That's the crazy part.
It's so hard because you can't compare him to LeBron.
But LeBron didn't have Clay in the wing. LeBron didn't have PJ in the wing.
He sure did.
LeBron didn't have Gafford down low. LeBron didn't have Lively at the 5.
But can he? And so the expectations make it even more like, so you have to do it, Cooper. Is it fair to compare Cooper Flag to having the capabilities of starting the league off like LeBron?
No.
I mean, they try to do that with everybody. Like since LeBron been in the league, LeBron is in a different stratosphere. So I'm looking at what do I expect out of Cooper. I expect for him to be well efficient because he won't have to be the star, but he also won't have to necessarily be the trash man. But if he does both of those, he'll be a very efficient player. So what does that mean? If he can make sure he crashes the boards, he can make sure that he's actually moving without the basketball, doing all the little details. Shoot. With what they already have, Dallas can still, without Kyrie, still be in the West. I still think they can be probably about a 5th or a 6th seed.
Man, I agree with everything you said. I think Cooper Flag is the luckiest number 1 pick on earth.
Man.
And I say that because I think he's a number 1 pick with the 20th pick expectation. I think he's kind of like Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I have so much hype on Shador and all this other kind of stuff going on, this other noise. That Cam Ward almost is kind of just like, hey,
chilling.
Whatever you give us, we're going to take. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey. Right? He's got such a stress-free number 1 pick role.
Yeah.
Jiminy, because ain't nobody putting a lot of extra pressure on him. Right? So you're looking at Cooper Flag. Yeah, LeBron coming out. They put the cape on him. They said, you got to go save one of these teams that aren't dominant. It's different if he went to the Wizards. It's different if he went to the Blazers. It's different if he went to Utah. You know what I mean? It's different if he went to some of these teams who really needed somebody to come in and be Superman, because now we're looking at him like, you better be Superman, you're number 1 pick. Yeah. And then now they start throwing down those names of the previous Supermen. The LeBron James, the Ant-Mans, you know what I mean? Like, you start talking about them, then you compare him to them, but it's so much hype off of him because there's so much pressure on AD. Yeah, filling Luka's gap. So much pressure on Kyrie being hurt. There's so much pressure on Klay Thompson having a redemption and a resurrection. There's so much also attention and pressure on those guys at Dallas. That's why we shouldn't have been talking about Dallas other than them having the 15th or 20th pick. Right? Yep. But he slides in because of that lottery pick to be number 1 to Dallas, who really should have had a later pick. No, so he's getting the pressure of really the true pick they should have had. He's getting that pressure, but he's number 1. So he can come in a step behind like a LeBron bag, and he doesn't have the pressure. But if he gives you anything close to that, if he gives you anything close to that, it might just be enough to fill the gap of Kyrie being injured. See what I'm saying? I don't know who's gonna hold down the one. You got Dinwiddie still there.
Yeah.
You got Hardy, I believe, still there. You got the young guy that was down in the G League balling out and kind of showed really good towards the end of the season.
He kind of played like Kyrie too.
He kind of played like Kyrie too, right? So they got some points, right? So now you bring in a guy who doesn't have to be at his third year type of skill bag, but if he can come in and just give you 70% of a number one pick's expectation, 70% of that, and that will cover the gap for whatever's at the one. You see what I'm saying? For whatever lack of scoring is at the one, for whatever lack of facilitating is at the one, for whatever lack of defending is at the one, your two guard now is 6'8", can distribute the ball, can crash and play above the rim, and can also, they got a trade ball and got a shot. Yeah. I don't think AD might not have to play 70 games. But you still got PJ. You still got Gafford.
PJ should be coming into his own this year too. It's about his time too to kind of come into his confidence swag.
Yeah.
But at the same time, still has just enough youth around him where he can still be in his element because he's still growing.
Yeah. And what I like about PJ is what people didn't. Once again, I'm a fantasy guy. I play the fantasy. Okay. I used to put money on him a lot because he used to come off the bench in Charlotte, and all they wanted him to do was bring the strap out.
Yeah.
PJ came off the bench. Whop, whop, drive. As soon as he touched the ball, he was going to the basket. As soon as he, they already knew when you coming off the bench for your 20 minutes, we don't want you doing nothing but pulling the trigger. And so I watched him put up 20 in a bubble, in a 15, 20 minute bubble in a window. And so he can score. I don't know if they're giving him the green light. You know what I'm saying? But anytime Luka was out, I always put money on PJ. And I'm like, well, maybe they give him the green light.
Yeah.
He can score, so we'll see. They're interesting. We'll see what they do. But, man, I'd like you to wrap it up with that Brooklyn take you had. Because you shined a light on some things that Brooklyn is doing that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, you know, I still feel like Brooklyn is in an interesting situation because I didn't know they had 5 first-round picks, and they decided to use that all in this year's draft. That's like I was saying, like that's literally like rolling the dice, and it's either you strike or you get snake eyes.
Yeah. Because
what you're saying, what you're really showing your fan base, in my opinion, if you use all of your future round draft picks or 5 first-round draft picks in one NBA draft, you letting your fan base know, hey man, look, we're trying to build something now, but we have to start by planting all the seeds that we see in our vision.
Right.
So let's talk about who they had. So Nolan Traore, guard from France. This dude, he moves like De'Aaron Fox, how fast he is.
Oh.
But he has, I guess, his like lengthiness in a sense, even though he's about 6'3", but he plays long. Kind of remind me of Dyson Daniels for Atlanta Hawks that you was talking about.
Yeah.
So you have that combined with the De'Aaron Fox, you got yourself a pretty good guard, honestly, in my opinion. So you have that. Then they picked up this guard from Israel, Ben Saraf, 6'6", left sniper, 6'6" lefty sniper. But what I like to call is a lefty facilitator. Because the thing is, he don't never mind getting to the basket every single time. And when you have someone that doesn't mind getting to the basket and facilitating at 6'6", you know what you end up having? You end up having yourselves a LaMelo Ball.
Ooh.
A control LaMelo Ball.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean that he has better complete ball handling skills as LaMelo, but that just like fearless energy of, look, by any means necessary, I'm going to find a way to get me a bucket or facilitate a bucket.
1,000%.
So you have a player like that, that's awesome. So let's keep moving on. They got themselves a 7-foot-tall, 250-pound center from Michigan. I believe his last name is Wolf. Anyway, Danny Wolf. There you go, Danny Wolf. So Danny Wolf like a big old Jokic. he's like a faster Jokic, bro. So he can move without the ball. He's used to playing in like a pick and roll scheme. Because I think he was playing with another 7-footer out there in Michigan. Yeah. So they was picking and roll like as if they like the Minnesota Timberwolves. So you have that. This dude, he can shoot from the three. Yeah. But the thing is, he still has his traditional center skill set. He can still back you into the paint if he needs to and play slow, controlled basketball. So you have a player like that. What's going to happen is he's going to be a type of player because he's already 250. He'll be able to still post his will as a rookie. Is what I'm saying. So Brooklyn has that in their disposal. That's because it's hard to find true bigs, but that can also be hybrids in the league. Yeah. It's very hard to find that. So when you find them, you actually have to hold on to them these days
and develop them.
Yeah. So you have him. Then they picked up this guard from North Carolina. Drake Powell, 6'6" athletic guard, gives me a little bit of not OJ Mayo. He gives me a little bit of not Bradley Beal. It's another guard. Anyways, I can't think of this guard that I'm thinking about right now, but he has a very defensive style of mindset. I guess you could say he's like an athletic J.R. Smith. Okay. When it comes to ceiling, an athletic J.R. Smith, 6'6", he'll play platinum defense on you every time. Like if you go to the basket, he coming at you like this. He coming at you like this. So the thing is that I'm looking at he's jumping straight up in the air. He won't put himself in foul trouble, which means he won't be a liability at the end of the game. He'll be an asset. Damn. Woo.
All right. Appreciate that.
So yeah, what they have right now, they have honestly, what they did is almost like they like, let's see if we can build a Golden State Warriors team. Yeah. Except our version and just hold on to everybody.
I love that.
And they must trust a player personnel developmenting team. They must trust their program because when you watch film on these players, it's not like they average like 30 points a game. But you see flashes of certain ISO plays where whenever they make the best of themselves, all of them facilitate. You know what that means? What? You can move the basketball and you can play basketball.
And you can play real basketball.
You play real basketball because everybody also wants to facilitate even though they have the skill set.
They're looking at OKC.
And Indiana.
Yeah, they're looking at team ball.
Because now it's all about team basketball. So Brooklyn look like they've been doing their studying. And they said, okay, let's just get everybody that we envision of what we're trying to get into the draft. And let's press play. Best case scenario, you'll have a starting point guard. And you'll have a hybrid guard forward that you can move around. That's another one. They picked up that point forward from BYU, who's like probably, I think he's like the number one facilitating guard coming out of college basketball.
They was busy.
Yeah, so you got him. Igor Denham, 6'8" guard or forward.
They were busy.
So you got that who's also a facilitator. Yeah. So now you have length. You have length, unselfish offensive basketball, and all these players, they all want to take it to the rack. 90s basketball.
If we're getting back to that, it's funny how the pendulum swings, right?
Yeah. They all want to shoot twos, mid ranges. They will do step back threes, but a lot of them want to be within this spacing right here, which I think is great. Because you give yourself more chances to be able to create buckets. And if you create more buckets, that means you're getting defense or offensive rebounds, which means you're giving yourself more chances to score. Now, you combine that with youth, in about 3 to 6 years, they may end up being the Pacers from this draft.
They deserve it. That organization deserves it.
Yeah.
They kind of put themselves on ice for the past 6 or 7 years doing the whole Kyrie, Harden, Durant thing. Mm-hmm. They deserve it. It'll be a fun year. got on the docket this week, my guy? You got your boy Jalen Ramsey.
Man.
Going to the Steelers. Still Curtin, they trying to do something now. They made some pretty big moves. Matter of fact, talk to me about not only Jalen, talk to me also about Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
They picked up both of them from Miami.
So they got Jonnu Smith. They got themselves a very good tight end who can receive, block, and catch. I mean, you have that. All I'm looking at is you have that, and you getting Jalen Ramsey, right?
Yep.
You pick up DK Metcalf, right?
Yep.
So you do all that. You pick up A-Rod, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. You're picking up all of these key pieces because, truthfully, I think they want to make a run.
Sounds like it to me.
It sounds like they're putting in a whole lot of investments.
Hell yeah.
That's needed to what they're trying to do right now.
Win now.
So their investments right now is clearly to try to win now.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
Oh yeah. You got your experienced corner. You got your experienced tight end who almost had roughly 900 yards receiving last year.
Almost 1,000.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you might as well, for a tight end, if you get to close to 900 yards, you might as well say you dang near 1,000-yard receiving tight end.
100%.
That's just the way I look at it because it's already hard to, in my opinion, get more than 600 yards receiving unless you really that guy.
100%.
If you really that guy, well, really 500 plus receiving yards as a tight end in the NFL. If you're getting 500 plus, you're close to almost pretty much being that guy.
100%. Because
you're doing a lot more to be able to get those receptions unless they've been all like long touchdowns a lot of times. No, those been a lot of key pivotal moments that you've received those catches.
1,000%.
So yeah, so you're talking about a defense that's already good, fast. Do they still got TJ Watt?
Yep.
Still got TJ Watt anchoring that D-line.
Yep.
Then you bring in Jalen Ramsey. I mean, hey, you got A-Rod. What you're doing is all chips in. That's what sounds like Pittsburgh's doing. Silently, it's kind of weird because it's like, well, if it was all chips in, they would have got themselves a rookie. Well, not necessarily. Because a rookie as a quarterback is a little bit more challenging, if not the hardest challenge to be able to actually get to a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, I think there's only been a couple of them that's done that anyway. So to be able to get a rookie and just try to bank on them getting to the Super Bowl, no. But if you have an experienced quarterback, it makes you feel more confident when it comes to spending money and investing in on a key pivotal piece like a tight end for a quarterback,
right,
who's always a security blanket. You know what I mean? You got you a corner that can guard two different style receivers, the X and the Y. Yep. You know what I mean? Inside and outside, which makes a big difference right there. Not to mention, he's a headhunter. Not 100%. To mention, he's a ball hog.
1,000%.
A ball hog means that even though he can cover and he can headhunt, he's probably going to try to headhunt and shift the ball out you. You know what I mean? Talking about Jalen Ramsey. He's probably going to do something like that. So that makes him an even more valuable piece because you're allowing for the offense to get more chances. 100%. And if you allow for the offense to get more chances, when you have somebody like Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, that's probably most likely going to be a very good ticket to a success when it comes to being able to win games or 100%. Finishing games 100%. In general.
1,000%. I agree with everything you said. I think Jalen was a good pickup. I think what we're seeing right now, it just came to me. I think we're seeing what good teams do, what good, consistent teams do. I think a lot of times we're used to seeing the team take the big swing for the fences, and whether they hit or miss, it is what it is. And they got to wait and then load up again before they take this big swing. And so you see like an inconsistency of success. The Steelers, we all know, right? And some people are picking holes in it now, like winning is bad, right? The fact they always get over 500. They always at least make it to the playoffs, right? And so now we're starting to see the positioning of how they're setting themselves up for the future. They didn't spend a lot of money on Aaron Rodgers, but they were strategic in allowing themselves to put in the position to take a veteran quarterback who still got some juice left. It's a risk. But they also positioned themselves by going to get a young rookie quarterback that shows promise, and they have him in the QB room, Howard, big boy. Yeah. They're scaling, saying that he kind of looks like Josh Allen. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so we got him on the shelf on deck, right? And we got Aaron Rodgers out there to hold down the fort right now until you can learn from Aaron Rodgers. You can see what he does.
Yeah.
You feel me? You know? And then they got DK Metcalf, who's not old by any means. He's in the middle of his career. And you got Calvin Austin, who's also behind him, a young receiver, right? And so they're positioning themselves for not only now, but they're also looking at in a good position to be decent again in the next 3 to 5 years.
Boom, so they're still setting themselves up.
They're still setting themselves up, right? You know what I mean? Because they didn't overpay or overcommit to the talent at the QB position. But they took a risk on it saying, hey, if you got talent, we're going to pay for it. But if it ain't none in there, you're not holding us hostage for 5-6 years on a contract like Deshaun Watson at Cleveland. You feel me?
Yep.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's a reason why they have success, because now they can say, okay, if this doesn't go well and we only make it to the first round of the playoffs and we get knocked out again, guess what we can do next year? Go and spend some more money because we got more money to spend. Because, yeah, we brought in DK Metcalf, but we offloaded Pickens before we got to do what after this season? Pay him. Because you know what they would have had to do after this season? Pay Pickens.
Yep.
Which might have gridlocked their money.
That is true.
And so we kind of see how they handle their money. You know what I mean? You bring in Jalen Ramsey. I mean, you got to pay Jalen Ramsey, but then you offload what? Minka Fitzpatrick, I think his name is. And you send him away, right? So you on board and then you offload. Yeah. But you're on board in areas where you feel like you need to strengthen because it's weaker links. So maybe they felt like the coverage piece needed to be touched a little bit more dominantly than what Minka was doing. Who knows, right? But we're going to trust that expertise, right?
Yeah.
So they're strategic, and I can respect the strategy. I think they're in a good position. I look forward to seeing the season. I hope Aaron Rodgers does not get touched. Something in me, I want to see the Steelers do well. But, man, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers can take too many guys falling up on him. Like, they're going to have to figure that out. Because if they think he's going to be able to carry the load the whole season, I hope he can. I hope he figure out, you know, eat his Wheaties or whatever. You know, shit is saying, like, you say in that ice bath, you know, do something. Well, he's going to have to do something to stay durable. The only thing that can knock him out is durability and injuries. That's it. But I think they're poised for success. Man, we had a couple other shakeups. Now, you also had your WNBA. We got to show some lights and show some love to the WNBA. I think last episode we talked about Caitlin Clark and her dominance and how she's kind of being targeted. Now, the other popular name that's in the sport is Angel Reese. I think she had a really big game and a big showing. There's a lot of adversity on Angel Reese right now. But as far as the talent, man, what you think?
I think she has great talent. You know, I know a lot of times people give her a hard time about her self, quote-unquote, rebounds, a.k.a. what they call them me-bounds.
But let me tell you
something.
Get a me-bound, everybody
wherever there's a will, there's a way. You got to respect the hustle because somebody else could have been getting the rebound.
Somebody else could have got the me-bounds.
If I'm so bad and I can't shoot, how come you ain't get the rebound?
How come you ain't get your own?
I mean, you ain't get your own rebounds. How come you ain't hustling the way I am? Y'all ain't talking about that part. You know what I mean? So when I look at that kind of stuff, well, hey, that hard work will continue to keep paying off, and she's only going to perfect her craft more. She seems like the type where she don't fold under pressure. So over time, she's going to be one of them type of players where it's like, hey, when it comes to leading my team to a championship, it may take me a little bit more time, but I'm still actually opening up my complete bag.
Thanks.
She has enough skill set, enough ball handling. She has enough skill set to be able to open up her bag more, and she will. She'll be able to shoot a lot more on the outside, a lot more in the future. As she gets more comfortable being outside of the paint. You know, all that stuff will develop in time, but when it comes to her trajectory of how she's doing her thing right now, 20 points, 14, 16 rebounds, I don't know, that may be a double-double, but that's a big double-double.
That's a big double-double, man.
Yeah, dog.
I like the talent that's coming into the WNBA, man. I think it's good for the sport. It's entertaining. I think these youngsters that are getting in there are bringing a different energy to this game. I think it's shining a light on a great game that's been played for a long time, but now we can actually see the engagement on it. And I think it's all good. It's a win-win. She's a good talent. I hope she does well up at the home team, Chicago. And I look forward to paying more attention to them and learning more about some of the other great stars that are in that league. There's quite a few movements done around the NBA, man. You got D'Lo.
Man.
D'Lo went over to the Mavs.
Man, shout out to D'Lo.
And they paid him.
Man, they did.
And they gave him the bag, man. What you think D'Lo gonna do over there?
I tell you this what's cool about D'Lo. He's gonna have his games where he can go off like Jordan Poole.
100%.
So when it comes to him being able to, I may have a game where I only give you 8-9 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. Then you're gonna say I'm not clutch until you need me in some situations where I help assist in future clutch moments.
Right.
Let me say that again. You're gonna have me in situations where I help assist with future clutch moments.
Right.
What does that mean for D'Lo? What that means for D'Lo? D'Lo mess around and he may not be able to close the game in the fourth, but he gonna help you out in the third to help you close in the fourth. You see what I'm trying to say? He may not have the best second quarter, but he's gonna come out guns and blazing in the first quarter to help give the team a pivotal boost going down into the second quarter and so forth. Point what I'm trying to say is he is like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're gonna get.
Nope.
But I guarantee it, you're gonna get more good than bad. So you gotta give him a chance. I like the fact because he's coming into a role where he doesn't have to be the starter, but if you need for him to be, he says, thank you. I'll gladly take those keys and I'll gladly drive this vehicle if you want me to, because realistically, that's what I want to do in the first place. But I understand the situation that Kyrie is coming off an injury, and I understand I got to play my role, but guess what? I'm ready for it. And you giving me these type of bigs where I can create a lob city? What? Plus, create a lob city there on top of that. You're giving me a stud rookie that has all this energy in the world that can block shots, aka defend, of course, can shoot from anywhere. His basketball IQ is actually kind of slept on, honestly.
It really is.
So I look at all that, I'm like, man, sky's the limit with D'Lo.
I agree. I think it was a great pickup. I think he was the best point available. I think he was probably the best option available for them to try to fill and mitigate the gap between Kyrie. Now, here's the crazy part. I thought that until I didn't think they were going to do it, but we'll see how the summer league goes. If they put Cooper Flag at the 1,
oh, man.
Good night. Good night.
I see Mark Cuban talking about that.
Good night. Woo! Because whether you think Cooper Flag is at the level above or below where Luka was when he was 18 coming out, and what Luka was able to do in his first 3 years with the Mavericks without Kyrie Irving, without Anthony Davis, without Klay Thompson, without a P.J. Washington, without the height of Gafford and Lively, Twin Towers, without that bench. If he gives you 70% of what Luka gave you in his first year coming out, and you got all that talent around him, and Kyrie coming off the bench for the playoffs, man, and you still got D'Lo. Mavericks are looking pretty scary, man. I like that D'Lo pickup. Good for them.
Yeah, now they are.
What else we got, man? You had, we already talked about KD going to the Rockets. You had some other big moves. You had, Myles Turner went over to Milwaukee.
Hey, you know what? I like that.
You liked, yeah?
I like that for this little piece, for this reason for Milwaukee, most importantly.
Yeah.
Let's roll the dice. Let's roll the dice and see if we pick up somebody dominant like Myles Turner that he still has enough skill set to spread the floor.
Right.
His dominance can be Giannis-esque.
Right.
Because he can dominate you in the paint like that.
Can.
Defensive wise, he's gonna bring more defense with Giannis, which I think is great as well. So you have more rim protection. It's dominant because it's almost like you dang near had 2 7-footers. Myles Turner is 6'11". Well, god dang it, you might as well be 7 feet at that point when you're 6'11".
Right.
And so, because somewhere in there you have 7-foot type wingspan capabilities and skill sets if you're at 6'11", which means that your size is a problem.
And if you happen to be lanky,
Yeah.
Then it makes up for the reach.
Now, it's good because of the dice, because it's like, maybe Giannis is like, well, that's a good dominant piece. It's almost like they try to will Giannis in the stand like as if this was the situation like Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins.
If I'm Giannis, I'm out of here.
Remember that? Yeah. Anthony Davis, Boogie Cousins in New Orleans?
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of them trying to be like, well, maybe if we get someone like Myles Turner.
They had something.
They did.
They had something at New Orleans.
But what I'm saying is, that's going to be the piece that they may do with Giannis to try to keep him in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Now, honestly, looking at it, if I was Giannis, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, but I'm still gone.
I'm out of there.
And so the reward for Milwaukee, y'all ain't too far off from what you already had with Giannis. When y'all bringing in Myles Turner.
Yeah.
Not saying Myles Turner's Giannis, but you can build around Myles Turner in a fresh situation if you don't have Giannis.
And they extended Bobby Portis. So they still got Bobby out there. Yeah, I like it. I don't think, are we talking about playing basketball or winning? You know, you let Lillard go, which Lillard, he covered up a lot when Giannis went down. And I don't think they respected that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He put his body on the line. That's the reason why he tore his hamstring, because he was pushing himself so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you talking about winning or playing basketball. Yeah, Myles Turner come in. Yeah, it's nice basketball being played. But who y'all beating? You know what I mean? In my mind, who y'all beating?
Yep.
Who y'all beating to go to the conference finals, to go to the semis, to go to, to the, like, all right, it's some good TV watching, but other than that, what?
Yeah.
So I like the trade, though. Good for Myles to be on go somewhere different and kind of be the man and to be spotlighted. Good for him. You had a couple other big old trades, man. Who you got? You got John Collins went to the Clippers.
Yep.
I like that for the Clippers.
CJ,
Powell.
I was about to say CJ to Portland. No, not back to Portland, but he went to Washington, right?
Yep.
CJ McCollum.
Yep. You got Norman Powell over with the Heat.
Yeah.
That lineup's looking good. People sleep on Norman.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good.
There's a couple we're missing.
Either a couple we're missing or a couple potentials that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Like, let's talk about LaMelo Ball going out there to possibly the LA Clippers.
LaMelo need to go somewhere.
Well,
I don't want him to go to the Clippers, though.
I'm just saying, because, it's always about finding ways to go back home.
Yeah, not to the Clippers. I don't know. What are you going to do at the Clippers? I don't see them letting him be himself.
Yeah. Well, I know Ty Lue will turn him loose, but they may be a little too slow still.
Yeah. Ayton. DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers.
Hey, and maybe they can resurrect his belief system.
Come on now.
Because that's just a raw number 1 overall pick. That's just a raw talent waiting to still be kind of unlocked.
Waiting. DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers, man. I like that. They needed a certified big. Man.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. And they got him one. So we'll see. We'll see if it's enough. Who knows? It may or may not be. Your boy Bronny James looking like he took a step in the right direction this offseason.
The ultimate high flyer. The 6'2" guard who soars in the air like he's 6'6".
Man.
The bounce on that boy. The bounce. The athleticism. He got the lejeans. He got the lejeans. The year like 4 or 5 LeBron when it comes to how he started basketball at the beginning of the game with those instincts.
All that fire.
All that fire coming out of there. And the thing is I know people like, well, he double dribbled whenever he took that ball and went for that dunk. Well, guess what? In the NBA, they play just like that.
Come on now.
And so what he did was he just skipped a step. I'm gonna skip a step on trying to be perfect, and I'm about to just go ham.
I'm about to be a dog, a defensive dog.
And you know what? I know he was talking about, hey, I probably won't be that type of guy where I'll be able to score 15, 20 a game, but I can be an absolute menace on the defensive side of the ball.
I like that.
I agree with him.
I do too.
I agree with him. I tell you this. When he does get his 15, 20 points in those games, it's going to be a very strategic and very hurting style of 15, 20 against opposing teams.
1,000%.
Sometimes it's not even about the amount of points, it's how you do it.
You ain't lying. You sure ain't lying. I like it. You look good out there.
You do.
You look good out there. We'll see. You got to keep it up. You got to stay healthy, but he young. Got the fresh legs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, make a name. Get on the court.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, shoot, when I'm trying to get rolling, and it's been a minute and I'm rusty and shot ain't falling, I ain't about to warm up in game.
Boom.
I'm finna, hey, man, listen, y'all got it. I'm finna facilitate, and now I'm picking you up half court line. You can't even get across the line. I'm right here with you.
Man.
My shot ain't falling. I got to contribute some kind of way. So I'm going to let my other people handle it who's on, but I'm going to get the ball back as much as we can to keep it in your hand.
If I can Patrick Beverly you, I will.
You can make a living doing that.
If I can Patrick Beverly you, I will.
Make a living doing that.
I will put that defense on you.
Jrue Holiday, huh? And then he give you what you need when you need it.
Yep.
Jrue Holiday give you that game when they need him in the playoffs, when Jason Tatum go down or Jaylen Brown ain't dropping or, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We all need a Jrue Holiday.
Nah, for real.
Exciting times, brother.
It really is.
Exciting times, man. Man, you got Denver making some moves too, bro.
Yeah.
They let MPJ go. They brought in Cam Johnson from Brooklyn. Dog. What you think about that?
Man, I've always admired Cam Johnson's game ever since he was at UNC, bro. I remember I used to watch his game at UNC.
He's a sleeper.
And I was like, man, I don't know if anybody else can see it, but he got superstar potential in him because he knows how to hoop.
He's a sleeper, dog.
He's a sleeper, bro. And the thing is, because it's like, okay, well, Cam Johnson, Michael Porter Jr. Let me tell you something. First off, I absolutely love Michael Porter Jr.'s game.
I do too.
Okay? I love how he's an automatic sniper. I love his size because he can take advantage of it on the court. But so can Cam Johnson, but he can play better defense.
Yeah.
That's what I like. He's more aggressive on defense. He can still put the ball in the hoop. But I think he gives you a little bit more when it comes to be able to create additional plays for the offense.
Who's taller? They same height?
I think MPJ a little bit taller.
A little bit?
Maybe by an inch.
Either way, they both above.
But he up there, though. I think he's still like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, we're talking about between 6'7" and 6'10". Yeah, that's still up there.
Yep. So, I love it. Yeah, Porter will still do good because, like, he's like in that young LaMelo Ball era, Zion, all of them. He's still coming into his own a little bit more too.
Yeah,
but it's just tough getting traded to a team. Well, who knows? Because I am very curious to see Brooklyn's rookies, see how he gels with them.
You know what? You brought up a lot about them rookies last episode. Now. Yep. Hey, he might be the vet come in to be that guy. You never know because he was that guy coming out of school.
Yeah.
Before his injury, he was that dude. And so maybe this gives him the opportunity to not be a role player and to actually be that dude. And maybe he has a couple seasons working after that injury to where now he's more fresh and back to that 100% health. And maybe we'll see a different MPJ.
You may.
And sometimes that adversity of getting traded, feeling like I'm not quite good enough yet.
Yep.
Likes that fire to get you back in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Get you back in your bag. And so honestly, man, it might be a win-win for both. And, you know, I think Denver just got scary. I think whoever wasn't paying attention to Brooklyn, rightfully so, and didn't pay attention to Cam Johnson, I think you're going to have no choice but to pay attention next year. Because if you think Bron, that played two guard for Denver, was doing something, and you think
Jamal Murray,
no, Christian Braun, and then who plays the four? Dunker, Gordon. If you think Christian Braun and Gordon was doing something, Cam Johnson is like both of them.
What he is?
He's like both of them. He's got the energy of Christian Braun on defense and rebounding, but he's got the game like a Gordon. You know what I'm saying? He can hit you in the post. He can hit the outside corner bound. You know what I mean? Like They just got stronger. Denver did.
I feel like his game is, and honestly, maybe a tad bit more polished than Gordon's.
Yeah.
Offensive game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
A tad bit. So they got themselves a man.
Hey. All right, what we got on the docket? We got the Phoenix Suns, man. They just paid Devin Booker a big bag.
You said what?
I said the Phoenix Suns just paid Devin Booker a big bag.
You know, I actually like that.
He's highest paid right now, over Shea, per year.
You know what? Shout out to them because I was thinking, hey, I'm glad they still are invested in Devin Booker because he's still a young superstar.
He is.
You know, I'm glad they kind of clean house.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to clean the storage building, clean the house in order to have better energy.
Very true.
You know, and I think that's going to be good for them. Now he's back to being the head honcho.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
yep.
They got some, traded for some younger pieces. So now he can go back to doing what he naturally does.
Facts.
Being aggressive and leading.
Facts.
So that's a good thing.
I think, he could get back to more of his authentic game. The guys play better on the ball and off the ball when they're in more the flow element. Harden is kind of like, I guess, underappreciated for how much shape shifting he's done and still was extremely successful.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a two guard. Put on that crazy score for 40 plus, so he can score. Then he goes and puts up all those crazy assist numbers between Brooklyn and Philly. You like, dude could play a certified point one guard. You know what I mean? Then he can play the three. So anyway, it just reminds me of Devin Booker when he can play in his natural element. A lot of times we'll get to see those other facets of his game. You know what I mean? How much can he get people involved? All that good stuff.
Yeah, they're going to be doing, that's good for him, bro.
Right.
They're definitely going to be doing him some good justice.
Facts.
Because showing him that they are investing in him is another thing that's real.
Right. Facts. Speaking of getting paid, you got OKC going crazy. They paid their big three. All of them got maxed out.
Oh, yeah, Jalen.
All of them got maxed out.
Jalen Williams.
How you feel about that? You think it's wise to invest that much?
Hey, good for OKC. I feel like this is a long time coming.
Right.
I feel like this is something that should have happened whenever they had James Harden,
Facts.
Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant.
Facts.
The great thing is that, things happen in divine timing.
Facts.
And the timing couldn't be any better because of how young they are, how gifted they are, the chemistry level, the unselfishness that they have amongst each other, the leadership that they have in Shea that keeps everything balanced. Shit, I think that's huge for them, bro.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Oh, why not?
Right? We saw the success the Warriors had with their interior big three, right? We saw that. So, and we see that resulted in multiple championships. And we saw that you need to keep those guys together, right? Even Miami with the big three. They stayed together for some time, right?
Yeah, they did.
Right? And they got a couple championships. So the big three has shown you they can get you a championship.
Yeah, they
feel
have.
me? So why not? I mean, some things are gambles, and it's a 50-50 outcome.
Yep.
They've shown you they can get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really a 50-50 gamble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a 60-48 gamble. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever those math numbers are. But it's not that bad of a gamble. I think you do it. Why not?
No, not at all.
And now that it's done, it's almost just like, just like congratulations.
Why not invest? Show them that hey, we're here for the long haul. Y'all are potentially a new dynasty that's waiting to emerge right now.
Right.
Shoot. The way they hooped all season and in the playoffs.
Facts.
Oh, money well worth spent.
Well worth.
Yeah.
How you feel about little Bronny? I feel that. Better.
You said about Bronny?
Yeah, Bronny and Cooper Flag.
Oh, man.
He soft the other day. Oh, jeez. Put a little more on it. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
Hey, so Bronny being what? 6'1", 6'2", 215? That 215 coming in handy because he was locking him up pretty good, which was great.
Yeah.
I like the fact that year 2 Bronny is actually being more assertive, more aggressive.
Yeah.
Things that like I feel like was going to happen eventually over time. You know, coming back from a heart surgery and, you know, wanting to feel confident in saying aggressive.
Right.
And knowing that everything's okay. I mean, shout out to him, you know, out of all things. But what I seen out of Cooper is what I was expecting to see out of Cooper, honestly. I mean, think about it. He went 5 for 21 from the field, right? Most #1 overall draft picks, they usually do something like that. They usually go with numbers that are not so great. I mean, Woody had the same thing last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But we knew who Wimby was.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I feel like it's the same thing with Cooper. We know who he is, too.
Yeah.
But you got to think, he's been going to meetings. He's been doing a lot of media things in the media. That's huge, too. So when you think about all the meetings he's been doing, the different people signing different endorsements, all that stuff, he really hasn't even had time probably to even hoop like that.
True.
Outside of photo shoots.
Very true. Very, very true. They have a lot of distractions on them as well.
Yeah, so
I navigate through a lot, but you know, it's still early. It's only one game. What else to them?
But yeah, overall it was a good series. I was thinking about it at the end of the game, about 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Lakers was down by a couple points. You know, the Lakers they weren't really moving the ball too much. You know, I've seen it a couple times where Bronny was wide open at the top of the key. But you know, when you have a lot of players that are trying to make the squad,
Right.
it's a little bit different. You know, a lot of players trying to make the squad right now, so everybody's really just trying to initially get buckets.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's not really about like team play.
No.
But overall, great entertaining summer league game. I expect for Cooper honestly to be at least averaging 15, 7 and 5. 15 rebounds, 7 assists. Yeah.
15, 7, and 5.
Yeah, 15, 7, and 5.
Sounds good.
I can see him being something like that. Every once in a while, he's dropping, you know, maybe 22 to about 28 points. Something solid.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see him having his game.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of during the season. Maybe 30 plus.
Yeah. He'll have those games.
Once he adjusts to the speed and the physicality. I don't know if nobody was bumping on him like that in college. Maybe.
But you know what? He don't ever shade away from the bump. As a matter of fact, sometimes he embraces the bump. And I feel like that's going to be great for him over time. You know, once he still gets into his grown man body. I mean, people also got to remember, you know, technically he should be a senior in high school going to college. You know, he skipped a grade.
Yeah.
He's just still physically bigger than everybody.
Very true.
Hey, check this out. Breaking news.
What's up?
You ready for this? Breaking news. From this week on out, nothing but football on for the rest until February. Every week.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. It's a good time of the year. It's a great time of the year.
Get it right, get it right.
Hell yeah. What we popping it off with? You talking about Shador? What's going on out there? You been watching the training camp news?
Yeah, I've been watching the training camp news, man.
How's it going?
Shador looking really good out there, dog.
He's looking good?
Something that I'm honestly not surprised about. I mean, if you watched him at Colorado, you would already know he's about his business.
Hell yeah.
I feel like what's been making him stand out the most is he really looks like he understands the playbook. You know, his command
Yeah.
in practice seems very high. I don't know, just looking at the energy of all the different clips that I've seen, it just looks like he's a little bit more mature than a lot of the other quarterbacks when it comes to going through his progressions,
leadership,
and establishing his assertiveness every time that he actually throws his balls to receivers. Yeah, all of his footballs look like they are thrown with conviction.
Right.
And that makes a big difference.
Intention.
His footwork in the pocket looked really nice, and I know it's like, well, yeah, you know, we haven't put pads on. Well, I feel like when they put on pads, I feel like that will truly amplify his ability. You know what I like? I see him taking snaps after practice with one of his centers, right? One of his offensive linemen. But you know what's cool about that? Here he is, a quote-unquote fourth-string quarterback taking snaps after practice, and you have your $200 million man and Myles Garrett after practice right there, lined up, right on top of the center, just to give Shedeur a little look and give the lineman a little look. I see that as a sign of they know what's up.
Facts.
They respect his game. They value his work ethic. They value who he is as a person, and they have a lot of respect for him to potentially be the franchise quarterback.
I agree, man.
Because I don't think, you know, a star player would stay after practice for a fourth-string quarterback unless he really believed in him in some type of way.
Right.
So I look at that, man. I mean, I look at the more snaps that they give him, the better he does. But you know what I like? I like how I feel like the coaches are already preparing him to be that starting quarterback by giving him less right now. Because if he can do a lot with a little, they know that he can do a whole lot if you give him a little something.
Right.
Which means that he could possibly be that serious game changer like a Jaden Daniels for the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
Because he knows what he's doing on the field. The difference between rookies and players who've played in the league for a little while, it's the ones that study, prepare, and know what they're doing. Yep. It's the ones that are watching film. Those are the ones that really matter. Those are the ones that eventually will become the greatest. That's the reason why when I think about, whenever they talk about game managers and game changers, I love game changers. But I respect and love game managers too, because they got to beat you with their mind, dog. Yeah, it's like, they're just managing. Well, I don't think managing is always the easiest thing, especially whenever you have to still make serious decisions and serious times when it comes to winning or losing a football game. Yep. And so when I look at that,
I gotta say,
when I look at that, all I think, you got to be able to have an established, consistent work ethic in order to be a game manager of a champion. So,
right about that.
And as you do that, then later on, I truly believe that because you can beat teams with your mind, every once in a while you can dial up a few plays where you can be a little bit more of in a leadership role when it comes to that play was completely on you to make a first down or to make a touchdown. Those times will happen, but in the meantime, make everybody else great.
Facts.
And that's what Shedeur can do for you.
I agree. Leadership is underestimated.
It is.
And one thing that comes with time and experience is generally the leadership piece. So if he can bring that in now at an early stage, it just shows his advancement already. And that his age is really a secondary component when you're talking about his maturity level, because he does have that leadership ability, which is something that is generally developed over time. But coming in with it already so strong is a really great sign that he might be ready for the spotlight sooner than later, and can handle it at the big stage at a high level. So we'll see. And that's a good point. I agree with everything you said. Transition and talking about leadership, I'm also impressed with Cam Ward and what I've been seeing out of the Titans camp.
Man, Cam Ward make it look easy, don't he?
Man, he makes it look easy.
Make it look so easy. I saw him scramble to his left. He scrambled to his left, and his receiver was going to the opposite side of the field, And usually coaches say, hey, don't throw that ball across that field because that's literally a safety licking his chops for the interception, right?
Right.
But when you have somebody with arm strength like Cam Ward, like he's just different. He made that look so easy.
Oh, man.
But also, he seems to be processing those plays really good, too. That's another thing I like.
Yeah. His poise, his footwork in the pocket is impressive.
You know what I think is one of the greatest things they did? Because I know he has Calvin Ridley out there, which is dope. But I like how they got one of his receivers from Miami.
Man, come on, man.
I like that.
For real, bro.
Like I like that, bro. I like that because there's a level of a comfort that you give a quarterback when you have his security blanket there too. Even if that receiver don't start, it's just a level of energy comfort, which is good because you know that no matter what, because of the chemistry, he's always going to find ways to get open.
Right.
Always find ways to get open. And that's a big deal.
And one component to add to that is the comfort level mentally too, of having a guy who is used to your command. You know what I mean? It's a different level of bond, different level of tonality, different level of respect that you can have as a safety net while you're gaining your authority within the organization through showing your work ethic, right? It takes time for people to see you consistently and then give you the respect. Then it has to convert to dubs. Yep. So yeah, you get the respect early on coming in while the draft, all the hype. But then the closer we get on that field, you get about 4 or 5 dubs built up. L's built up with not enough, you know what I mean? Yep. Now all of a sudden, so, that's a big component. And so it's nice. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen because it might not, but what I'm saying is it's nice to have that security net of, at least I know it's a guy on this team, on the offense, that's a receiver that I have that level of respect and command with, you know what I mean? Yep. To ease if there's any disconnects on any other levels with some of the veterans, right? You got a couple young guys. It's always nice, like your boys, you know what I mean? To have your boys to give you confidence to when maybe, you might have a discrepancy, you know what I mean? And you get into it with somebody, you come over there, man, you got this. You know what I mean? It's different having your boy. Not for real. Anyway, that's good for him. It's very Titans, good. Man, they have a great squad. And I don't know if people have been paying attention, but they still got your boy over at running back. You still got my man holding it down. And they got a nice backup for him as well. They got 2 really good running backs. You got a really strong tight end that showed a lot of improvement last year. You got Calvin Ridley. They got another receiver that had a streak for like a touchdown a game. He's got 2 names, Westbrook Akine or something like that. Yeah, okay. So they have a lot of potential, and they always prioritize defense. And so the quarterback play is one thing last year is why we didn't see that potential, but they were still competing. That was the crazy thing about Titans last year. Even with inconsistent quarterback play, them jokers were still competing and keeping games to a low-scoring game. Like, wasn't nobody just blowing them out. Like, it was a tight game, but it just wasn't high-scoring, right? Because it just couldn't really move the needle like that. So, anyways, man, big up to the Titans, man. I think it's going to be a big deal.
They got themselves a playmaker at quarterback, too.
Man, big time. He's just so poised back there.
What I was talking about? Like, yeah, he's very poised. You know when I was talking about game changer and game manager?
Yeah.
I think about Cam Ward.
Yep.
Cam Ward, he could be a game manager.
And a game changer.
And a game changer, too. That's the thing that's dangerous about a lot of these quarterbacks that's coming out now. They have the athleticism, the creativity, and the IQ all in one.
Yeah.
At an earlier stage in their careers than what they have had in the past. And that's been because of coaching, too.
For sure.
Coaching, the type of personnel that these coaches have blessed them to be able to play with and use in the actual game to make them even greater before they even get into the league. Right. I absolutely love it. Like, I think the Titans, I think he's going to get them to the playoffs. I think Cam can get them to the playoffs, bro.
1,000%.
I think so because of the fact they have a great defense. They have playmakers on offense, but I think when it comes to helping the defense out, I feel like he's going to do an exceptional job at time of possession, which is going to give the defense a fresh outlook from series to series. I truly, truly believe that. And if it does get to a point where the offense is truly struggling, I feel like his energy is so respected. I think it will be so respected over time that them boys going to be wanting to play on defense tough for them because they know, hey, we got ourselves a dog at quarterback who's going to get the ball into our playmakers' hands. And if that don't happen, he's going to do his thing regardless. Yeah. Because not only does he have the IQ, but he got the arm strength to get it wherever he needs it to get, wherever it needs to go.
I think we're going to see. Really the potential of what that defense can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're finally going to see how well put together they really are. They're a solid unit, right? And so we'll see. And it's different, man. Playing defense myself, it's different when you know the offense is cooking and it's a competitive game. You run out there excited.
Man,
like for what you just said from a defensive perspective, you're absolutely correct. You're running out there excited. And you need your defense to be energetic.
Yes.
That's all defensive is. Defense is effort. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a lot of skill, but it's a lot of effort. You have to charge, you know what I mean, at all times. It's not an evasion. It's an intention, like to charge. Not like I'm getting away. Like, no. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. You know, and it takes an energy level. So you want them, woo, baby, come on. You want them out there yelling, running out to the field when they're going on, yeah, let's get it, baby. Bring it out. Hey, we in here. You need that energy coming onto the field, not, woo, helmet off. You know what I'm saying? Been on the, you know, that's not what you need from a defense to be dominant. So I think you're right, man. You insert a Cam Ward, even if he just is a little better at the efficiency than what they had last year, I think, man, that defense is going to shine.
Yeah. No, I believe so, too. Because to your point about kind of dragging from a defensive player perspective, it's almost like you so frustrated, you drag your helmet on the little bleacher seat just to get back onto the field.
Facts.
Just frustrated. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, well, here we go again. You don't want that type of energy from a defensive team.
No, and that's why a lot of times you'll hear a statement, they say, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. You know? Sometimes the best defense is a good offense because if you can get – that's why a lot of times teams get underestimated. They may not have a good record. Then all of a sudden they figure out some quirk on offense and they get rolling. Oh, where'd this come from? Man, when you give the defense the opportunity to take a breather, like it's reciprocal, right? How the defense rolls helps the offense and can also hurt the offense and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so an improvement on one side is always going to improve the whole team. So anyhow, I think we'll see a more improved Titans this year. What about the Cowboys, man? Looks like they either have yet to or still working out the contract deal on Michael Parsons. Bringing him back. You think
honestly, I think it's gonna happen.
You think they should keep delaying?
So it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be one of those things where, Jerry right now, he's in his feelings, and rightfully so because he did pay Trayvon Diggs. Then he paid Dak.
Yeah.
So they all have dealt with, a few injuries. It's part of the game, but it's still a business, so I get it. So you have that aspect, and then I think about, it's still early. They hadn't even hit truly in full pads yet. So I think Jerry going to end up paying him. But he want to see him back in pass first to kind of – it's a psychological thing to remind Jerry for himself how good Mike is before he pays him.
Right.
He knows. He's seen him. Yeah. But he wants to see him today. Yeah. He wants to see him in this very present moment. Going into August, going into September, he wants to see, are you healthy? Are you sure? You good? Okay, if you are, bet. Now we can go ahead and pay you. That ain't got nothing to do with Micah because Micah's a dog. Right. It ain't got nothing to do with Micah. You know what I mean? Because honestly and truthfully, I feel everything Micah is coming from because everybody else been taken care of. True. If you don't believe in me, I know there's somebody else that's going to believe in me that way.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I love this organization. you know, I respect you. I value everybody in this organization.
Yep.
You know what I mean? However he feels and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's still a business. You got to take care of his family.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? Like, it's bills to be paid, and there's business to be taken care of. That way, there's championships to be written.
Yep.
But in order to do that, you got to take care of everybody, Jerry.
Thanks.
You got to take care of everybody. That way, everybody can feel like you truly value them as well as the team. Because at the end of the day, it's still about the team. We're trying to win around here.
Facts.
We already know you're going to make the bread. So I think about that. I think about also, what another thing that I like about with training camp with Dallas right now, I love the chemistry between George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. I love the energy that they're giving the team because they're giving the team some swag, some juice. You need some juice, some culture. You need that. I love seeing Coach Shot. I like seeing Shottenheimer yelling at everybody, establish his dominance, just being free. Spread your wings, coach.
Like
spread your wings, coach, because if you got that in you and that's something that you've been holding in, let everybody know, because I'd rather you give me your honesty than some fake facade. Because if you give me your honesty as a head coach, I promise you I'm going to ride with you. And I know that squad has been yearning for that, bro. They've been yearning for that.
They've been needing that.
They've been needing that, dog.
They need that, man.
And I also, just real quick, I also feel like CD been yearning to have another dog with him too. It's just one of those things where it's like, look, I love being a star, and I love you being a star too, but you're helping me out because I always have to, every day, every practice, every rep, constantly remind myself, hey, there's another dog.
Hey, come on now.
Sitting right here too.
It makes you excited.
You feel me?
That makes you excited to play.
Man.
When you ain't the only one out there.
Dog.
Because now you're like, yeah, let me go harder so we can get this dub.
Yes.
Because I'm confident in what I got around me.
Yes.
I got another dog right there. We got another young bull over here at the running back. We got 2 quarterbacks who are super talented. Yes. They can throw the pill. So we're going to figure it out.
Man.
Shit. One way or another, we're going to figure it out.
Man,
it gets you excited. We still got our defensive guys on the other end. You know what I mean? Just coming off 2 years ago being a dominant defense. When you had that hope and that excitement in there, and then you can get out there with somebody that you resonate with, that you can talk the same to, that you can vibe with, that you can create like a whole different amplification of energy on the field outside of just what's going on.
Big orc field.
That's when, man, you have momentum. That's when things are exciting, and that's what develops a culture, like we were saying. It takes different elements of free expression. The head coach being able to be authentic, right? The players being able to be in their natural element, competitive element, right? Even Dak Prescott probably is in a competitive element. Everybody's now competing because they got something to fight for. Adversity, a lot of times, is where culture is established. That's where you come together. That's where you are close. That's when you got something to prove. You know what I mean? That's when everybody's humbled, right? You know what I mean? It's through adversity. So I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know, we're not going to be the bandwagon that, you know, that happens all the time where they say, you know, every year it's Cowboys to the Super Bowl, but then XYZ happens. But you gotta put respect on when somebody's making a great attempt to put the best foot forward. And I think the Cowboys are doing the best thing they can to put the best foot forward. And to your point about that coach, man, I like it. I like the spice. I think they need it. I think they needed somebody with energy, some authenticity. And I like the fact that it seems like they're allowing it to happen. You know, shout out to the ownership for putting all this together. You know, we're starting to see that it is, we're starting to see what they saw. You know, shout out to the ownership. I know we bash him a lot, but damn, you know, I know he takes his time, but he does pull the trigger. Jerry does. It's just more so like he has to get over the taste in his mouth, you know, and I think part of the pride and the ego that makes him exceptional at being a businessman is also what makes a delay when it comes to like, you know what I'm saying? He has his ways.
Yeah.
But his ways has, you know, established, you know, a large, he has a large compound for himself. You know what I mean? He has a lot going. So obviously he knows how to make the right decisions at the right time. So we'll see what happens, but they looking good.
Yeah, man.
They looking good.
I was thinking about what you was mentioning earlier. You was mentioning how Dallas is possibly putting in a read option package for Joe Milton and for Dak Prescott. I think that's a great thing, man, because the thing is, another thing that I like about them bringing Joe, slowly but surely, not saying they ain't got a whole bunch of swag energy on the team, but you got people You got more players that's a little bit more open to show the team, hey, we got some swag on this squad. Even if I'm the backup, we still got some swag on the squad. We're going to change the culture because everybody needs to feel like they are that guy. Yeah. And I love that because I love it also for Dak, man. You know, I think about Dak and I think about at Mississippi State, Dak was a little bit more of a running quarterback. He could throw that ball. And not saying that he wasn't throwing the ball because he wasn't a traditional spread offense. He was running. But he was toting that pill. And that's what made him more dangerous. I want Dak to just unlock it. Me too. Unlock it because you ain't got nothing else to lose. Because out of all things, he's taken away one of his greatest strengths. He is. Which they need to resurrect. Man. I know he's a lot leaner now, but I think that's going to work to his advantage because even though he's leaner, he's still what you call a big bone. He's a big dude. He's still a big dude. He lean, but he's still a big dude. Like, solid. Yeah. Solid, though, but which is going to make him even more elusive. Facts. Shoot. I think, and Joe Milton coming in is probably going to put a spark plug in him like, oh, shit, yeah, I could do, hey, that's right. See it, show him a young version of himself. I forgot about that. Yeah, shit, yeah, okay, come on. You're right. And then sometimes you need as you're going through the paces, coming from a couple of different injuries and shit. You know what I mean? And then we live in a league where they'll let you be a pocket passer if you can do it. But it's made you leverage less of your true overall potential. Because regardless of how good he can throw, his running game is what opens up and amplifies the passing game. Yeah. And so once you get away from your running style, you really suppress your throwing ability a lot, or you have to really spend a lot of time to get it going. So anyways, having that reminder, having that now reason to work on shit like an option, you know what I mean? Yep. Now it's a reason to go work on, a certain type of stretches so that you can move fast. Before it might not have been a priority, but now it's like, oh no, we running now. We running this play. We running now. We running that period now. And I don't want to constantly be pulled out. Yes. Because here's the thing. If I don't get my big ass in shape, every time we need to run this play, I'm going to get my come on, Dak. Come on. And that's just a recipe for if this young boy can come in and make them electrifying dynamic plays, and then I fuck around and get hurt because my shoulder gets tagged, I'm out 3 games, and he starts launching that bitch across the field. Hey, man. 2 dogs. Good night. And CD. Good night. Woo. And Devontae. And so it's like it's a healthy pressure not to hand over the keys to this Ferrari that they done built to this young gun. You know what I mean? But quiet is kept. Unfortunately, sometimes that's just that's how the torch is passed, right? We watch him do it with Tony Romo. Yeah. And it's never comfortable. It's never comfortable. Look at old boy at Atlanta, Kirk Cousins. That's not comfortable to see. Michael Penix. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to see it. So, it's up to Dak to use it as a fire to say, hey, man, not yet. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And sometimes that's when you see like Aaron Rodgers that one year, he came back and won the MVP. Like, sometimes you need that, like, not yet. And I don't know if that was the year they got love or what. Was it the year they got love? I think so, and they still kept Aaron. Yeah. Just to put I don't know, but one of them years he went and got the MVP. So I think we're going to see the best Dak Prescott we've seen in a while. Motivated, you know what I'm saying? Hungry. Now he's got a different NOS booster behind him to push him to get to top peak athleticism. They got him running now. And I think by happenstance, him moving and getting out that pocket, he's gonna, and with his ability to throw the ball he's been working on for so long, man, that's gonna amplify his game, man. He's already a talented quarterback, talented thrower, but now them motivating him through having that other guy, hey, you don't want to always come off the field. True. Hey, it's time to get a running touchdown, and I got to run off the field. I want that one too. Yeah. Shit, I'm good, Coach. Hold on. Because Dak has all of the qualities and abilities to do everything he desires. Yeah. He just has to, I don't even want to say him because it could be them trying to protect him. But now they're going to open it up, and I'm glad because they're literally just allow for him to access one of his greatest strengths. Facts. And I want him to get comfortable with that because of the fact that I feel like this year they're going to need some help at the running back position. Ooh. Dallas. Oh, yeah. So they need to have that different dynamic. They need to have that because, like, he needs to be an additional back. They have backs, but he needs to go ahead and be that additional one. True. Because you got Jaden Blue, who's a speedster. You got Sanders, they can tote that pill. They got some backs, though. They do. But at the same time, you can never have enough when you're trying to establish a running attack.
Yeah.
You got to be able to show the defense so many different ways. That way, the running backs can be freed up too.
Oh,
hey, you know why? Because their greatest strengths, the running backs we got, like the Dallas has in general, like down here, if they get an open field, bye.
They got some backs. I'm gonna say,
hey,
listen.
Bye. Listen, if they get an open field, they gone.
Listen,
that's it.
They got some backs, man. They didn't go get a Derrick Henry, right? Yeah, who is the show, right? You know, he Boogie Miles, right? He can do it all. But they went and got a hell of a committee, and that was before they drafted Jadon Blue. I was sleep on him a little bit, but I was looking at the committee that they got in the backfield. I'm like, yeah, those guys are solid as a committee, right? You know what I mean? Now, put 30 totes on them consistently, I don't know, you know, but as a committee, hell yeah, Sanders can give you a hell of a flash on 7 to 9 carries.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you get him out in the open field and they mess around and the first tackle's a miss and he got space. Oh, you don't want to see Myles Sanders in space. You forget how quick he can boogie. You know what I'm saying? You forget that he can scoot and boogie. And then you got the other guy that they got from, where was he at? Was he at the Seahawks? No, Broncos? He was at the Broncos. Jamal, what's his name? You remember who they got from the Broncos?
Didn't Sanders come from the Broncos?
No, Sanders wasn't at the Broncos. They got Myles Sanders. And they got
they did get somebody from the Broncos. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name though.
It's gonna bother me. But anyway, he's solid.
Yeah.
He's a bruiser too.
I want to see a step in Deuce Barnes game this year.
Yeah,
I want to see a step in it. I want to see a step in this game.
I
want to see him allow for him to be a little bit more active. If he can be used in the backfield like that, use him on some wheel routes. You know, use him on some Devontae Turpin style because he's also a dynamic skill set if you can get the ball into his hands quick.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you got to be able to have that splash. And honestly, you know, the best time to use him, I think the best time to use him is
special team.
Well, yeah, that too, but I'm about to say any package deals with Joe Milton.
Hell yeah.
And the reason why is because Joe has the arm where if he needs to be in organized chaos, he needs to be around some speed.
That's true.
That way he can utilize his strengths. And if Deuce can get on down the field in a situation against a mismatch, he may get put in a great position.
Hey, I like the way you think on that one. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, speaking of the same division rivals, the reigning champions, there's a lot of talk going on right now about the perception of Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. Yeah, I think some kind of poll came out, some ranking system, they have him down at the 8th or 9th ranked quarterback. How you feel about that coming off of a Super Bowl champion? How much do you weigh championships in the evaluation of how good a quarterback is?
In this era that we live in, I grade it as a very, very big deal because defenses are so much more faster, athletic. Every type of play has pretty much been seen. It's been recorded. It's been practiced against. And so for you to be able to master your craft against a defense that's pretty much seen everything the league's ever seen, and you still find ways to win, I think that's a huge, huge deal. Which makes me also go back to a game manager and a game changer. They value a lot of the game changers in the league, and they put even a Tom Brady in the game-changing category because he's won 7 Super Bowls. I respect it because Brady went to 2 different teams, won the Super Bowl, so I respect that. And I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is Tom Brady, but I am saying this. Jalen Hurts has learned one thing about his skill set that is very valuable in order for him to actually be truly respected in the league. You know what that is? I need to find ways to win games no matter how it looks. I love that response that he had in an interview whenever he literally said that because of the fact that's showing that he is literally not trying to win one ring. He's trying to win multiple rings, multiple championships. He didn't even put on the Super Bowl ring because he was like, hey, that's in the past. I'm grateful for that. But we already on the next season.
He's tapped in.
He's literally tapped in. And so I'm looking at also him having the knowledge. I think that it was absolutely disrespectful because if you're winning a Super Bowl like that and you was in a Super Bowl before and you almost won that one, and you came back to win it. Because if anything, don't tell me. I'll tell you this: if Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback, he is always one notch above Joe Burrow, and you want to know why? Because they both went to a Super Bowl, and he's the only one that went back and actually mastered his craft. Period. I don't care. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I don't care how you slice it, but if you're looking at scenarios, that's what it is. And so now going forward, when it comes to him being in whatever category, even if it's Joe Burrow's tier 1 and Jalen Hurts is tier 1B, like 1A, 1B, they have to at least be neck and neck, only because of the respect that Jalen Hurts went back, seen the same quarterback he lost to, and then mastered his craft. And got back there fast on a faster rate. And don't give me talent, because the Bengals got talent. They're in a division where they're forced into having talent because they're in an SEC style freaking gauntlet of a battle royal with the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Ravens. That's a very, very, very challenging conference right there.
Oh yeah.
So when I look at all of that, and they're in a better division, quote unquote, or a more challenging division, so talent is not an issue. No, he's definitely being disrespected. What you think?
I think it's the equivalency of seeing somebody who is in basketball who's dominant on both sides. I think it's looking at a great offensive player as well as a great defensive player. Right? It's one of those guys like a Dwayne Wade. It's one of those guys like a Kawhi Leonard. They're not often in the greatest of all time at their like position debate, but they're champions. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And there's something about them being on the court versus them being off the court. They're going to impact the game in so many different ways because they're going to make you better by being them. They're going to hustle. They're going to do certain things. And so when I look at a Jalen Hurts and his ability to win the game, and to be different if this is the first time we saw this. We saw his style of play. We saw this through college. We saw this through his early years. He has an ability to manage the game in such a way, through his demeanor, through the way he approaches it, to win the doggone game. And one big component about Tom Brady, who won multiple championships that we don't say, is how he was able to manage and control the game. And they just brought up game manager, but we don't like the timing and the poise and the control, the think and the situations, right? He gets it done.
Yes.
Now, when we're talking about a QB arm talent, it's different of a conversation because the whole goal of the game is to win. And the reason why we talk so much about how many talented quarterbacks come out of college to play in the NFL now, but there's always an asterisk, but did they win the Super Bowl? It holds them back. And so if we're going to be able to use the Super Bowl as an asterisk to remove a little bit of credibility for their position, we got to use it as a hell of an asterisk to boost it too. Yep. So maybe he might not be the greatest arm talent standing next to a Herbert if we're talking about the zip and the type of the spot, whatever the hell you consider it. All right. But if we're talking about a winner, which is also a critical component of playing the position, is can you lead your team to win? Okay. And you got to have help. They've all had help. Nobody can do it alone. And he's done that. So we got to give him a hell of a boost. And so I say the fact that he's, like to your point, went, showed you I can get you there. They came back and showed you I can bring you back. You give me a little more help, and we can get it done. And we'll do it easily depending on how much help. They said, you got Saquon. Yeah, but they blew the team out the water. They barely lost the year before when they got in there. And then they come back with the extra talent, and they did what you do with extra talent. You blow the team out the water. They didn't win by like 7 points.
And you know what's also interesting about all of that you just brought up?
What?
Jalen Hurts has had multiple offensive coordinators. They don't talk about that.
Come on, man.
Multiple offensive coordinators, and he's still successful. Honestly, it's been multiple offensive coordinators since he's been at Bama.
Yeah, so...
and the way he was winning at Bama too, I don't care what happened in the national championship. He also was contributing to when they won one too. So that was still him taking a quote unquote energetic L as well as taking a quote unquote energetic win too.
Man, listen, he need to be
He
top
been
5,
this.
period.
Thank you.
Hey, the moral of the story, Jalen Hurts needs to be top 5, period. It's slice it, dice, it's figure it out. But when you have a championship quarterback, they need to be in the conversation. And I know that's almost like why Brock Purdy got paid. Because no matter how you slice it, dice it, he gets them where they need to go. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it may not always look analytically, stat-wise, as dynamic as far as passing yards and all this type of stuff, man. But there has to be a lot of weight put on winning the ultimate goal, which is the championship. Has to be a lot of weight. Immediately, you got to be top 5.
Got to be top 5, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, dog.